The fact that Kyle, according to their own GoFundMe, is unwilling to help in any way, shape, or form when he's currently riding the right-wing gravy train, that's pretty bleak. That's pretty especially for, again, isn't this the family values party? Aren't you supposed to have family values? Why is the family values party always on the family? Time and time again. The Steven Crowders of the world. He's always preaching about family values. He's always preaching about that kind of shit. And at the end of the day, it seems like he's a real abusive asshole to his family. It seems like a lot of these motherfuckers are. Kyle Rittenhouse's mother and sister are being evicted, and Kyle's refusing to help them. Not at the fact that they're being evicted, by the way. They could be lovely people and have nothing to do with any of the fucked up shit that Kyle Rittenhouse is involved in. More so, the hypocrisy. I thought this was supposed to be the right. I thought they were supposed to care about family, you know? I thought family was important. I thought respecting the family, breeding, you know, that's the most important thing of all. Someone dropped in the chat yesterday to talk to me about breeding. They're like, oh, Lance, what happens when you become 50 years old, don't have kids, and you're still doing this, lol? And then it's like, well, why is it got to be with kids? Can't I just be sad and childless as well? It's got to be with kids though. Lance, you must have children. You've got to breed. If you don't breed quickly, you will have no purpose in life. You are but a vessel, a sperm vessel. It must be donated. I don't have time to explain to most of you who Kyle Rittenhouse is. He's the 21-year-old who shot 3 men, 2 fatally, during the civil unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin, in August 2020, when he was age 17. Rittenhouse was acquitted in his trial in November 2021, and has testified that he had acted in self-defense. We all saw the videos. A minor possessed a gun of war that he shouldn't have had, killed 2 men. He's awful. And the years since, all he wanted to do is become a MAGA spokesman. And honestly, he's been allowed. There are tons of photos of him with Donald Trump, the Trump family, as well as with other top MAGA figures. I mean, yeah, everyone knew this was what was going to happen with Kyle Rittenhouse. He was going to do an entire conservative talk show circuit. He did. I don't think they like him for some reason, or like him a lot. He's been having more trouble grifting than the N-word Karen. The N-word Karen, if you don't know, is that woman who just became famous for saying the N-word on TikTok. That's her only accomplishment. At least Riley Gaines is a failed swimmer. She's a failed athlete. You can at least point towards that. You can be like, yeah, Riley Gaines, yeah, placed 4th. Yeah, that's Riley Gaines, all right. Yeah, so now she's part of the whole right-wing talk show circuit. The N-word Karen, that's all she's notable for. It's the only accomplishment she has in her life, is saying the N-word in a TikTok video. And then now she's, you know, she's got an appearance on The Blaze. She's going to be doing a different show later this week. It's basically like, I guess that's the bar. That's where the pipeline is right now. Sorry, 5th place. Yes, sorry. 5th. She got 5th place. She got 5th place, not 4th place. She would not even be on the podium. Amazing. But at least there you can point towards, yes, this is a failed athlete who decided, hey, I want to do the conservative grift, and there's clearly a pipeline available for anyone who wants to do transphobia. So boom, there it is.
Clean up your room.
In the case of the N-word Karen, that's literally the only thing she's ever done of any note on the internet was that. Stephs, thanks for getting a tier 1 sub to Lucidry. Appreciate that. In the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, he post you know, the entire killing of 2 people and being acquitted for it, started doing a tour where he said he was fundraising money to start this organization that was going to take down the media, the fake news. It was specifically going to target mostly left-wing news outlets that were lying because they lied about him. They were calling him a murderer. He's not a murderer. He's a killer, but he's not a murderer. Huge distinction, because he's acquitted of murder. So technically he's a killer, but he's not a murderer. And every single news organization that said he was a murderer needs to be sued into oblivion. So he needs lots and lots of money to do that. And so, yeah, he raised some money. He started going on a bunch of shows. He was on Tucker Carlson, etc. And then blah, blah, blah. But he later on announced that he was broke. I don't know if that's because he's actually broke, or if he's doing the quartering thing where he's got to pretend to always be in dire straits perpetually forever. If that's part of his problem, or if he's just not charismatic enough, or the right just don't really like him anymore, or they're just tired of him and they want like a new toy to play with. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, he's kind of becoming a George Zimmerman like figure, notable for, you know, racism and speaking on the behalf of racist ideology. If there's a mega event, he's there. But do you know that he's not there for? His mother, Wendy, and his sister, Faith. At least according to Faith's Rittenhouse GoFundMe, looking to raise money so they don't get evicted. And what Faith wrote was rather heartbreaking. She began, Quote, I'm reaching out to you today with a heavy heart and a sense of urgency that I never thought I'd experience. Our family has been through unimaginable hardships, and now we find ourselves on the brink of losing everything. Just under 4 years ago, our lives were shattered when my brother was involved in a tragic shooting incident. The aftermath of this event uprooted our family stability and left us grappling with grief, trauma, and the harsh reality of starting over. We know that we are not the only family struggling to rebuild after that fateful night. There's a lot I could say about that paragraph, but I won't, especially the phrase tragic shooting incident. I guess it was tragic for the victims, but for Rittenhouse? No way. Anyway, Faith then brought up that her brother Kyle, and that he's unwilling to help his mother and sister. She wrote, we've had difficulty obtaining and maintaining employment due to the fact that many people still believe my mother drove Kyle or was somehow involved in the decision to go to Kenosha. We've struggled emotionally, mentally, and financially to piece our lives back together. When my brother's unwillingness to provide support or contribute to our family, we've been left to navigate this journey on our own. So let's take a quick look. I want to see. Kyle Rittenhouse GoFundMe. Because he had another one for his own shit, right? Oh, it got removed, so he has to do it on somewhere else. What's the conservative GoFundMe? The Christian one, I keep forgetting. GoFundMe removed Kyle Rittenhouse's fundraiser, saying that it violated the terms of service. You cannot raise money for an alleged crime. So the legal expensive ones. Give, send, go. Thank you. Kyle Rittenhouse. Give, send, go. All right. Whew. Well, he did okay. So, Kyle Rittenhouse being sued for self-defense. Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty by a jury of his peers. However, he is now continuing to have to pay expensive legal bills and is dealing with the stress of a civil lawsuit after being acquitted last November. Kyle Rittenhouse is 20 years old. It has been 3 long, hard, and strict. I think they meant to say district. Man, really just blew through this, eh? Just like, get it up there, make sure the money flows. Of Wisconsin against 9 Wisconsin police departments, including 10 city and county governments. He was looking for $500,000, and he got $250,000. That's still a fucking shit ton. And a lot of prayers. I like that prayers are an option. Can't afford to donate any money? You can pray for Kyle Rittenhouse and let everyone know that you prayed. So he got more prayers than anything else, which, again, that's really funny to me, just because, like, the whole thoughts and prayers thing after a mass shooting is just so unbelievably bleak and cryptic. But the fact that it's like, hey, I need money. Totally. I sent you a little something. Yeah, you can just check your inbox there. Oh, nice. It says you prayed for me? Yeah. Prayed real hard. Yeah. Even did it by the bed, baby. Prayed a lot. That'll help, right? I'm helping. There you go. Did you want me to send you another one? I could do another prayer. I mean, if you really need it. So he got $250,000. Yet with the $250,000, I guess all that is going towards his post-trial expensive legal bills. And now his family is on the verge of eviction. What's really sad about this is that their reason being that, you know, they've become public figures in their own right. Kyle Rittenhouse obviously was news that I believe was international. I mean, people around the world knew about Kyle Rittenhouse, the murder trial, and, you know, it allowed people on both sides of the political aisle to kind of state whether or not they think that he was guilty, not guilty, self-defense, all that kind of stuff. Maybe it was pretty good that the people he shot were bad people. Was he in the right to be able to go and protect strangers' property, to go to someone whom he wasn't related to or knew directly, to go to a different area where they had a car store, to be able to protect that car store from potential, you know, Black Lives Matter protesters stealing or robbing or attacking it, that kind of stuff. The family themselves, if they were not directly involved in any way, the sister included, and they were simply, you know, having to witness all this play out, obviously. Even though, you know, I despise Kyle Rittenhouse, I imagine his family, as would be the same case with me, if it's people you love, you'd probably be really upset and sad and worried about what was going to happen. And then, in addition to that, Kyle Rittenhouse doesn't give 2 fucks about you. He's put all of you into the public spotlight. Whether or not the story is true, by the way, it's entirely up to the, you know, only they will truly know if any of this has happened the way it has, whether or not they had difficulty getting employment, if they have difficulty, you know, paying bills as a result of what Kyle did. But The fact that Kyle, according to their own GoFundMe, is unwilling to help in any way, shape, or form when he's currently riding the right-wing gravy train, that's pretty fucking bleak. That's pretty fucked up. Especially for, again, isn't this the family values party? Aren't you supposed to have family values? Why is the family values party always shitting on the family? Time and time again. The Steven Crowders of the world. He's always preaching about family values. He's always preaching about that kind of shit. And at the end of the day, it seems like he's a real abusive asshole to his family. It seems like a lot of these motherfuckers are. And, you know, a lot of people eventually just want to get away from it all. It becomes too much. How long can you be with someone who wants to continuously engage in that trad life lifestyle? You know, it's basically you have to be subservient and you have to honor thy father in all ways, or in this case, thy brother. Then Faith added some sad news, saying, to make matters worse, I lost my job due to frequent hospitalizations due to medical issues. I've been unable to work over the last 4 months, making it extremely difficult to provide. One thing that is important to add is that Kyle's mother, Wendy, did not drive him to Kenosha. That was a rumor that exists to this day and is simply not true. Reporting by the Associated Press states that according to testimony in Rittenhouse's murder trial, he drove to Kenosha the day before the shooting and spent the night at a friend's house where the gun used in the shooting was kept. It wasn't until the next day that he took the gun from the house and went to the Kenosha protest where the shooting occurred. The testimony was not challenged. Kyle Rittenhouse testified at Kenosha County Court on November 10th that he drove to Kenosha on August 24, 2020, the day before the shooting, to work at his job at Recplex in a nearby Pleasant Prairie, according to the footage of the proceeding reviewed by the Associated Press. After work, he drove his car with his friend Dominic Black's house in Kenosha where he spent the night. However, Rittenhouse did not have a driver's license, something that was brought up in the trial. Under questioning by Thomas Binger, Kenosha County prosecutor, Rittenhouse said that he'd driven to Kenosha from the Antioch despite not having the driver's license. So even though you didn't have a driver's license, you drove from your home to Antioch with the Recplex to work that day, Binger asked. Yes, to be able to get to work, he replied. Back to the GoFundMe, Faith then asked for money. To make matters worse, I lost my job due to frequent hospitalizations due to medical issues. I've been unable to work over the last 4 months, making it extremely difficult to provide. Despite our best efforts to rebuild and move forward, we've been hit with another devastating roadblock. We've fallen behind on rent, and now we're facing eviction with only 8 days left in our apartment. The thought of losing our home, our sanctuary in the midst of this chaos is overwhelming and terrifying. She continued, we've exhausted every resource available to us, but we're still coming up short. The reality is that we have nowhere else to turn, and time is running out. We're pleading for your help, your generosity, and your compassion to see us through this crisis. Now, I doubt Kyle Rittenhouse is rolling in money. He has previously had his own fundraising event to raise money for legal help, but I guarantee he has access to the $3,000 Wendy and Faith Rittenhouse were asking for. They need $3,000? Kyle, you could raise that yourself with your profile. No question. Go on Tucker, go on Crowder, go on even InfoWars. If you went on InfoWars, and I'm sure Alex Jones would be more than happy to host you, you're just there to talk about the deep state and how the fake news media basically, promotes the gayfication through soy, whatever Alex Jones wants. And then just at the very start, at the very end of the interview, just be like, hey, just a quick note. If anyone doesn't know this, my mother and sister are currently facing eviction. They only need $3,000 to be able to pay rent this month. I personally don't have it, but if you do, my link is send go or whatever that right-wing one is. Here you go. Please help them out. Within minutes, they would have the money they need not to be evicted. Any show you did that on, you would be fine. There's a lot of deep pocket Republicans who, yes, if you play the "this is my family" card, they would be fine. You'd have to not want to help them in order not to use your platform for something like this. You've already raised, again, $250,000 to help with your apparently ongoing legal fees. So I'm sure $3,000 to stop your mom and sister from being evicted is probably not that much money in comparison. I assume it's probably, hopefully, important as well, you know? Now they like socialism. Yeah, no shit, eh? He knows someone he can ask. Come on. His mother stood by his side that whole time, and this is how he thanks her. So far, GoFundMe has raised $1,545 out of $3,000, and it went up on May 29, 2024, so 2 weeks ago. On May 29th, Faith Rittenhouse said that they had 8 days to raise the money. They didn't raise the full $3,000 they were asking for. Maybe they were given money outside of GoFundMe as well. Hopefully, they found a way to raise the money as well. This is quite sad. This just shows you that Kyle Rittenhouse is as rotten as we've always said. Kyle purports to be a conservative, a family man, and yet he's constantly bragging about all the trips and things he's going to do on his Instagram, X, and Twitter, but never mentions his mother and sister, who are barely surviving. Yeah, I mean, my read on Kyle Rittenhouse was always that he's a massive ass piece of shit. But, you know, what do I know?
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We first want to give a shout out to everyone who makes this show possible. This program is produced thanks to the generous support of our Patreon supporters: Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbar Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bomey, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, and Words Greenwood, as well as every other person you see on the screen right now. This show would not be possible without them. And if you want to join these wonderful people who make this entire program possible, simply go to patreon.com/theserfs and you can unlock uncensored and bonus episodes and, help us exist.